Hi everybody, Dr. Debunk here doing another short video on human health and wellness. Um, for those of you who haven't seen me, I'm Dr. Debunk. My real name is Dr. Martin Falipino. I practice in Central California. But I created Dr. Debunk a while ago and I'm back and going to be cranking out videos. I'm building a video library. It'll be on my website, which should be done in about a month. But today I'm going to talk about a subject that's current in the news. It's been something that's been building over 2 years, and it's driving me a little nuts and angry at the insanity that's in medicine. And the subject is sex change. The whole concept of, can somebody change their sex? Can you alter your birth sex? You know, it's been an agenda that's being pushed by wealthy people, just government agencies, the media. It's like everything that's connected to these public outlets where we get information is trying to tell us all that people can change their sex. And there's an aggressive movement against children. And so let me put it to rest very succinctly. It is medically impossible, it is scientifically impossible for you to change your sex. You're born a sex and it cannot be changed ever, period. Nature doesn't make mistakes. I don't care if you believe in God, aliens, or evolution. Wherever you believe we came from, nature of our existence, Mother Nature, made us in every way, male or female. And there is no confusion about it. Now, we're not talking about people that have these screwy XXY chromosomes and all these variation of chromosomal defect. I'm talking about, which is extremely rare, it's 1 in a million. I'm talking about normal, healthy people born, with no genetic abnormalities. It is impossible. And the truth is, it's medical malpractice, it's criminal negligence for any doctor to perform a sex change surgery on any adult, any child, any human. It is criminal, and they should go to jail. Now here's why. So I'm just saying this, but what's the evidence, Doc? Everything someone says to you, you should ask yourself these questions. Is there evidence to support what I believe or what this person is trying to get me to believe? Well, let's start with the basic medical reality of how we're made. Humans are made up of 40 trillion cells, not billion, trillion. And those 40 trillion cells are all sexed. Every cell in your body is male or female. I have 40 trillion male cells, XY chromosome. That one chromosome that determines our sex, XX for female, XY for males. It cannot be changed. There are no mistakes. 40 trillion cells. And you'll hear now one argument against that is like, well, once the body uses, say for males, the XY chromosome or the Y chromosome that gives us our male traits, it's not really used anymore. It's just used to start your body, to build your body and get your physiology going, and that's it. Wrong, debunk, lie. We see now that every organ in the body daily uses information from the sex chromosome. So for women, it's the YY, and for men, it's the XY. So we live every day continually accessing information that's relevant to our birth sex. So you would have to change 40 trillion chromosomes in a human to be able to change from male to female. That's impossible scientifically. In 100 years, we won't be able to do it. The vastness of what I just said is irrefutable. If you believe you could somehow override your chromosomes by just artificially changing people externally, then you believe in the tooth fairy. You believe in things that I'm not going to go down that road yet. So, not possible. That's point number one. It is impossible to change these chromosomes so you're born male or female, both the structure and the function, physiology. Point number two, we have MRI scanners now that are so precise, they can see the difference between a male brain and a female brain. I can stick you on an MRI machine and we fine tune it more to look at nerve endings in the brain. And with 95% accuracy, I can say, oh, that's a male brain and that's a female brain. It has nothing to do with size. It has to do with the way the nerve bundles and the structure of the brain looks. And we can see that now. So tell me, those of you who think that sex change is possible, how do you rewire 6 trillion connections? The human brain has 6 trillion connections. There's 60 billion brain cells, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that one. It's at least 60 billion. Well, I know some people that maybe have 2 billion, but other than those people, that's sarcasm, folks. So how would you rewire the 6 trillion connections between 60 billion brain cells? How do you do that? We're wired male and female. It's not possible. Not even close. Again, in 100 years, we will not be able to rewire somebody's brain. So that's evidence, fact number 2 that goes against the possibility of changing human sex. Point number 3, your endocrine system, the hormone systems of our body. How do you rewire those? You can't. How do you just because you can do surgery now, and this is what really pisses me off, these surgeons at these big hoo-hoo universities that are changing the sex, they are taking 13-year-old girls, chopping off their breasts, sewing up their vaginas, and sticking a fake wiener on them and saying, now we have a boy. That is criminal. They should go to jail forever. It's criminal. It's assault and battery. They should be prosecuted. It's ridiculous. And then you give them hormones. So what? You can give a male a bunch of estrogen and feminize him a little bit. You are destroying the internal drives of the normal endocrine system of human beings. It's psycho. You can't do it. You'd have to rewire the hormone systems of our body. And they're vast. And what about the brain hormone systems? They're vast too, and they're also male and female. So it's really a major thing that, again, some 50 years they might be able to do something with that, but it's a vast amount of work that hasn't even been done because we're just beginning to really understand brain chemistry and the vast amount of hormone complexes in the brain, neurotransmitters. It goes on and on, and I'm not even that current on it. So that is another point that's dramatic. So these 3 points form the foundation of the evidence that is irrefutable and unchangeable, that it is impossible to change the sex of any human at any age. You cannot do it. All you're doing is creating mutant zombie people. And by the way, different research is suggesting that the suicide rate is 10 times that. When people have sex change operations and they think their life's going to be all happy now because nature made a mistake, nature doesn't make mistakes. And so the suicide rate is 10 times higher because these people believe that their life is going to get better now, but really they have serious psychological issues thinking that sex change will fix their problems. But unfortunately, the authorities are promoting this everywhere. Where's all the doctors so far not making videos like this? Why am I the only one so far? But I'm not going to let go of this. So here's the bottom line. Anyone promoting sex change is promoting the suicide of that person. And that's against the law. If you change your sex by just sewing on fake organs and putting on the wrong clothes, you are promoting someone to commit sexual suicide. Anyone who pretends to be the sex they are not is committing sexual suicide psychologically, and the consequences will be devastating. And for children, it's even worse. So moms, you get out there and start chewing on everyone who wants to do this. Boy, my time's almost up. But the bottom line is we have to all stand up and fight. Do not be silent with friends and family. Do not be silent with the schools. Go get them. I've given you the 3 bits of information you need that will allow you to have evidence to show why. We must stand up and fight and protect our children. I'm Dr. Debunk.